You sold that one very close. Probably not there. So it's probably not there. I still don't know what you said. So, you know, it was later, probably not.
Bad.
Things have a loose connection somewhere and it's making noise.
Making sure it was working.
Ready, John? We're gonna go with January 14th, 2025, City of Perry, City Council meeting order. Everybody silence your cell phones. And, we'll have opening prayer with Miss Landry, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Our Father, we just come to you tonight, thankful. Thankful for a new year, Lord. Thankful to say goodbye to the old one. Pray that you would bless us in the year to come, in this year, that you would lead us and guide us in everything we do. Pray that for tonight, Lord, in our meeting, help us to be civil with one another and to deliberate on decisions that we need to make and come up with the right answer. Lord, you can lead and guide if we just let you. I pray that you would and we would. In Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilmember Grimes,
Here.
Councilmember Hampton,
Here.
Councilmember Woodfolk, Vice Mayor Landry,
Here,
Mayor Ketchum.
Here. Item 3, approval of items on the consent agenda. Approval to read by title only, ordinance 1047, and approval to read by title only, resolution 2025-02 and 2025-03.
so moved.
Second.
Yes.
Councilmember Grimes.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Item number 4, receiving requests from the general public. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on anything that is not on the agenda? Here, no one. We'll move on to number 5. Bids. Yep.
We didn't receive any bids in for the police department storage building.
We'll try again. Thank you.
Second time.
That was the second
time
time.
for bid. What kind of building is? It's a metal building similar to what Danielle had put up there.
Have you taken the paperwork to the people that sell it and they still don't?
Yes, sir, they will quote it, but they won't bill.
Last time we just had to get 3 quotes and what.
Very close, yeah.
Lowest one. Danielle's building.
Well, let's do
That's
it.
work. That works.
We'll get the quotes and we'll bring it back.
Even if they don't respond with a quote, they consider it a no quote, so, right,
Yeah, we'll get the quotes. We'll bring it
Okay.
back.
all right. Thank y'all. General business, agenda item 6A, John Sherrill to discuss plans for the West Fraser site and discuss city incentives available. And council will take any action deemed necessary. But Sherrill, you, okay, hi. I've talked to you on the phone, we never met before.
My name's John Sherrill. I'm a Sherrill Coastal Holdings. Home address is Manor, Georgia, but I've been a Dixie County resident for about 45 years. Since 2017, we bought several closed down facilities throughout the southeast. First one in 2017 was Georgia Pacific plant in Cross City. And since that time, we worked with, the owners that are there now. That went from a closed plant to now over hundred and 50 employees, which we didn't provide the employees. We just facilitated to lease with a purchase option to the owners that are there now and help them to get their feet under them until they were able to get on their own. Bought a plant in Claxton, Georgia, or a Pacific plant, a shutdown similar to West Fraser. That plant now has steel buildings and component manufacturing, 50+ employees. Skippers, Virginia, over next year, they figure over 100 employees for a shutdown Georgia Pacific OSB mill. That particular plant, they do waste transfer, cement from coal ash and biosolids compost. Mount Hope, West Virginia, it was the Georgia Pacific OSB mill, and had 120 employees when they shut down. Now it has an activated carbon company that takes coal and makes water filtration media out of that. They have 80+ employees, and so on and so forth for about 12 different facilities around the U.S. from Hope, Arkansas, Una, Texas, and Pit Boss, which is a grill and pellet manufacturing company. You probably heard of them. They bought the facility in Mount Hope, or not Mount Hope, but Hope, Arkansas from us, and they have over 50 employees there. The reason I'm saying that is we're not the people that hire the employees, that bring the employees to a place like West Fraser. But we facilitate, we buy the facility, we do the demolition of things that need to go, we get rid of the equipment that is there. And we try to repurpose that plant, work with local authorities and economic development people. And with the network that we have, we try to bring industry into a place. Of course, the bottom line is we like to make money on that type of a situation, but we also like to see a place that has lost employee base to be able to regain some of that, if not more, as much or more. I'll be honest, out of 12, and this will be 13, if we get this one, out of all the facilities that we have bought, this has been the highest tax base of any facility. It's a lot smaller. Some of these are 250, 350 acres, plus a huge OSB type of manufacturing equipment, so forth. And their tax, as were personal property taxes especially, were so much lower than Taylor County. I'm just going to ask if there's room for some tax benefits of, I would ask for waiving the taxes for a year. If that could be done, let us get in there, get the place cleaned up, get the equipment. I'll put, for instance, a piece of equipment that costs $500,000 for West Fraser to put in maybe 10 years ago. We'll be doing good if we don't have to just scrap it. We might be doing good to get $10,000 out of that piece of equipment on the market. It's just hard to move some of these items. And so they're $425,000 for personal property taxes for that facility, $75,000 give or take for real estate, real taxes. So I would just ask if there's any way that we have 30 days to do our due diligence and see if this is going to work. Never have I had a $500,000 tax liability going into something on top of a purchase price. So I would just like for some help. I don't need an answer tonight. Just wanted to present who we were and what we do, and see if there could be any benefit in the future for us. Thank you.
You were involved in Cross City. Maybe you mentioned that when you were involved in getting that mill.
That's the first mill we bought in January of 2017. It had been dormant for 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
From Georgia Pacific, and they sold that to us, and we worked with the new owners to get that up and going. That was the one plant that Georgia Pacific allowed to be opened back up again as a operating facility. The rest of them, like with West Fraser, they won't allow that to be operated as a mill. going forward. So, all these are success stories, but we're not the one, again, that brings employees, but we help to get those to that end. Yes, ma'am?
You mentioned other, Georgia Pacific properties that you had purchased, and do you have any aspirations with the one here?
They have talked to me about that. I'll be honest, that's a little rich for my blood. I think they got 23,000 acres to go with that. I wouldn't mind getting involved with some other investors, but they've run into a little bit of roadblocks on their sale. I'm not sure if they're, from what I'm understanding, they may be gonna demo a lot of that,
Mhm,
which is probably a good thing,
mhm.
but if that's available, I would be working with possibly other investors to come in there.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
The city portion is 22,000 for property and 131 for tangible personal property.
Any other discussion on it right now?
I'd just like to thank him for thinking about rescuing us.
Agenda item 6B, Boys and Girls Club Director to discuss relationship with the city and discuss the kitchen expansion project and council to take any action they necessary. Before we get started, I'm just gonna stay out of this whole thing. I think it's appropriate. So I will pass the gavel to Vice Mayor.
I would like to know why.
Reason being, it's my wife that's doing the presenting.
I would like to know the legal reason why. That's the only way. There's a legal reason,
Well, it could be a conflict of interest or
a
something.
legal reason.
A conflict of interest is.
That's the
illegal.
only way you can know, and I wish you would.
Okay.
Great, but what's a example of a legal reason?
You'll have to ask the attorney.
I believe if he believes it's a conflict of interest, then he would like. to-
Not if you believe it's a legal, it's specifically, and the law says a legal reason is the only way.
I understand, but if he's stating that he does have a legal conflict, because not only the presenter, but the director of the Boys and Girls Club, that he would not participate in the discussion, you're still going to participate in the vote, correct?
I
No,
don't know, I don't even know what we're talking about.
you recuse yourself, you.
I don't know if there's gonna be a conflict or not, to be straight with you, I really don't know.
I mean, you all could
I think he
decide
can
that
make that.
you can
I
overcome
do
the
too,
conflict.
because when it comes to
that he has,
jerking, with
but
my husband being a
he has the
part
right
of
to do
jerking,
that.
I don't discuss it. So
We were
I
given
pulled
a
myself out.
sheet of paper. Who did this?
Me. I did,
You did? What's it supposed to show me?
so it's got the lease payments. That's verified with Miss Emily's records at the Boys and Girls Club. The loan was from the books because I could not find a loan document. The expenses were from the books. And then the capital outlay was also from the books. And I took the lease payment and subtracted out the expenses and the capital outlay purchases, and that's the amount that I'm saying, and that the auditor says was close of what they should have in their bank account.
What bank account?
They don't have one.
Where's-
It's been moved.
The Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, just a few of us. But I'm not against it, because I was in it. When Governor Bob Martinez was in, if you ever heard of him. But what you're indicating to me is, I can't do this. So I'm gonna do it this way. And then I'm gonna give it back to you. FRAUD.
Mm,
That's what it is. If you do something like that.
Our auditors disagreed with that, which is the same auditor that we
Well,
presented. at
well, he's
all.
wrong.
Okay.
I mean, you don't agree with me?
I'm just trying to understand and follow you, Mr. Burns, as to
If-
what is the
If I've
fraud.
got money, they got money, they can't do something with it. So they give it to the city to hold. And then sometime later, the city gives it back to them.
The city doesn't give any money back to us. The city
That's what
reinvests
they,
in property that they
Emily,
own.
Emily, that's what this shows.
Well, okay,
It, the, tell you his problem. And if she doesn't agree, she needs to go back to law school.
I need to know more information,
That's what I'm
sir.
saying.
That's it.
I'd rather
I
be
think she
correct.
needs more.
That's it.
quick.
That's all you need to know.
Well, I think also whatever the provisions were to determine what was the.
There is no,
reciprocity.
there are no provisions.
She's not even presented yet, sir, so I hear your
She don't
comment,
need to.
and I take it
She don't need
into,
to.
if you allow me to speak. I would take into consideration all the factors. We've only had less than 5 minutes.
I've
And you
given
declared
you the
fraud
facts.
without information.
I've given you the facts, Hope, and if you can't sort those little bitty facts out at the right time.
Sir, that's not sufficient. That's not how the legal system works. I
you
appreciate
need to
that
go
is
back
your
to law
belief.
school where
I
you came
appreciate
from.
that I can't wait till we talk about the civility resolution, because I think it also impacts moments like this. I'm here to hear what we are.
I
talking about
asked you
that
a simple
decision.
question.
Sir,
You
I'm
work
not
for the
gonna.
council. If they
I
don't
need
want
to
to
hear
know,
more
I don't care.
evidence. Your testimony, although very respectable in the fact that you've been here for several years working in the city,
That's why
I
I
need
said-
more than that. Just like a judge would need more than
We've
that. I
got-
would need more information.
We've got a mess here, but it's simple. We've got a building out there called Rossridge. We rent that building. They need a refrigerator. Portable refrigerator.
mhm.
My motion is for the city of Perry purchasing department to bid this equipment out, bring it back to the council, award the bid and purchase it.
What does that have to
It's
do?
that simple,
What does that have to do with Boys and Girls Club?
because how much is that bid anyway? 167 or something?
Yeah.
That's what it's got to do with it. Bid it out. City bid it out. City buy it.
Well, she hadn't gotten to that point
She
yet.
don't, I most certainly did. It was.
She hasn't gotten to that point because
Most
you haven't
certainly
let her
did.
speak.
It came before us at the last council meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It was brought to us.
That bid that y'all signed.
We're about to
We didn't
try,
do it. We didn't put it out for bid.
I know that, what I just said.
You're
was
saying we need to.
we need to put it out for bid. They need to provide specs.
That's what we did.
Pardon?
That's what we did. We got one back.
That's not what we were told at the last council meeting.
I haven't sent anything out for bid.
We asked if we did it and we were told no.
She wrote the scope, and we put it out.
Huh?
She wrote the scope, but we put the bid out.
We were told did not put it out. That's why we didn't.
That's why we opened in a council meeting. It was our bid. We only had the one bid come back.
That's not what was said
That's,
at the last meeting.
That was
No.
not clarified in the last meeting.
We were supposed to get more homework on that, because all of us wanted to know why were we signing something that was never submitted to the city? Because that was when I asked.
Yeah, we have not,
I think,
yeah.
not to interrupt, but during the meeting, I think they all asked
Who
you
did?
about, and you were unaware of it.
Mhm.
Christie sent it out, our
Mhm.
purchasing agent.
Well,
But he was just maybe unaware of it,
no, John didn't know anything about it.
right, because it was done and Christie didn't let.
John
And
should.
John has said, but John has told
I
us.
did read it, but it was several months
My
ago.
motion is
Oh,
to
yeah.
award the bid.
I'm not awarding until we find out where this money at. They call it quote unquote, wanna know.
We
We
don't
don't have
want to
enough.
know.
Oh, yes, we do. That is the constituents' money.
You ever been out on Wayne Patches?
I don't wanna go to nothing owned by Wayne.
Since we only had one bid, I'd like to rebid it and talk to some of the contractors.
I want more homework on
That's
this.
fine.
I wanna know where the money is at.
Here's my-
Who has a hand on the money?
That's a whole
No.
separate situation.
Well, we
Yeah.
need, we still need to find it.
My guess, only because I have only been here since May, is that over the years, it has been dipped into the pot. When they have spent over revenues over, or expenses over revenues, they've dipped into the pot. And then with Hurricane Idalia, they've dipped into the pot. And since they only had one bank account for parks and it included their money, there was no separation on the books. So, you know, when you get your reports, sometimes it'll have like the water bank account and the water loan debt service bank account. It might all be in one bank account at the bank, but on the books it's separated. There was none of that on the books. So there was no way to easily get a number and say, this is what the Boys and Girls Club had.
$40.
This is what we want
Except at
to,
least 6,000 a month.
yeah.
That's it. Where the 8,500 came from, I don't have a clue.
That was when
I'm
She
looking
increased
at
her
the
payment.
minutes from the last meeting and I don't find where we even discussed this situation.
I'm lost too. But I
Is it in the
will-
minutes? I didn't see it.
I was sick, so.
That was discussed, that was
Yeah,
in
that's
discussion as soon as I walked in the meeting, y'all were
But
discussing.
I was sick.
Really,
Something.
that's.
Right.
I'm not wrong with that.
We gotta figure out what to do with the money that we're holding on to them for.
We're not holding on to money for them. Show me, prove it to me. Prove it.
Well, then there's $70,000 in the parks bank account. Where are we gonna get the money for that bid?
Where are you gonna get it from? Out of either utility tax or gas fund probably, because it's got more people.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
We need to figure out what our deal
We've
is.
got, I don't know how many millions of dollars that's called
expansion,
cash
kitchen
carry
expansion.
forward.
This one is-
What is that obligated to do? Something like this.
We got to see what our deal is with them, what the lease goes to, is that their money to spend on capital?
No,
May I speak at some point? I don't know who is, I guess Vice Mayor, if you're running the meeting, I'd like to have an opportunity to speak, please. There's several things that, I think need a point of clarity. First of all, yes, the, Boys and Girls Club does lease, the city property, which, at the time, as you well know, most of you know, it is absolutely city property and we pay a lease. And originally, what was agreed upon for the benefit of the children of the community, okay, is that if we pay a lease, that the city, not the Boys and Girls Club, would reinvest that money back into your own property. Nothing fraudulent about that. Okay, I mean, we are allowed to spend money on a lease. We can't make capital improvements and we don't lease. I mean, we don't bid. That all happens through the city, okay? And so the city reinvests that property back into the city's property. We actually are able to stay there as, of course, tenants. So, the Boys and Girls Club is not receiving any benefit. In fact, the Boys and Girls Club has paid the city $176,000 more than the city has invested in the property that we, have. So, you know, I think that, what we're asking for is for the city to continue to invest the money that the Boys and Girls Club has paid the city with the agreement of investing back into the property. If the city doesn't want to do that, we understand that. I mean, you know, we can move forward in a different light.
Emily, could I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
You have a motion to pay for it. Why have we got to get up there and talk to try to run yourself, run me down that I don't know what I'm talking about. You've got a motion already to buy the equipment. John wants to rebid it. The motion is then to rebid it and buy the equipment. What is your problem?
My
Because
problem
your
is, I'm
kids
just
are the
trying to be
problem.
clear. I'm just trying to be clear.
It's
I don't
real
have a
clear.
problem.
Emily, it's real clear.
Do we have a copy of this lease paperwork
It
anywhere?
doesn't say a thing.
We don't see.
It doesn't say what you're saying and all that. You just do it. You don't put it on paper.
And
I'm here to tell you.
technically that lease has, expired 5 years ago.
Well,
So, I
it
mean-
just says it'll roll on forever.
So, I mean,
And where the $8,500 came from? Who knows? The lease says 6,000. 6,000, let it roll. Redid it.
Okay.
And let's go on. But there's nothing to talk, unless they don't want to now, I'm just talking to me. But I can tell you, if you don't think what I said was fraud, you don't want to say, I cannot spend this on capital or on
a capital improvement,
capital improvement,
but you can spend it on occupancy, yes.
right? But you
That's
can,
absolutely
but you can hold it for me. And when I want
You
it
don't
back,
hold it for me, you hold it to reinvest back into the city property, not for
well,
us.
you're missing the point. You don't say, darn sure that we got $167,000. That's fraud. If the attorney doesn't understand it, like I said, she needs to go back to school. It's that simple. And I'm not gonna let you get involved in fraud. But it doesn't matter. This piece of paper doesn't mean a darn thing. And I will talk to the auditor tomorrow and deal with it. But we're on go, we're just wasting time right now.
What do we do moving forward to fix it?
What's that?
What do we do with the lease money moving forward to fix it? As a city?
What do you do with the Lothrop Park money
Goes-
or any other rent money or any money?
Never
You
gonna
just let
touch
it flow
this.
through the records. You don't want to say, I can't do this with my money, but I'm gonna give it to you and you're gonna give it back to me later. That's fraud. It's that simple.
So how do we
Give it
work
back
it
to
then,
us.
Bill?
I just told you.
Well, tell
I
me
made a
again.
motion. And like I said, I don't know where the $8,500 comes from. Because the lease that the latest one is, rental agreement says 6,000. They pay 6,000.
So basically,
If the city needs to improve the city's property, then the city just improve it.
Keep on.
But I want to ask you a question about this kitchen equipment. Do any of the kids use it?
If you see our paper, we served 118,000.
No, I mean, do the kids use,
You mean, do they go in and cook?
yeah,
No, sir.
they
do
don't.
not. Absolutely not. No, we do have a culinary program, but that's a separate because, no, we don't allow children in the kitchen. Absolutely not.
My
We just
point
feed them out of it.
is, years ago, high school had home economics.
We have that as well, but that is in
Okay,
the way that's set up is set up in stations. This is a very small kitchen, as you know. It's not large enough to have, a home ec class in there.
yeah,
It would be like all getting in a
I
closet.
mean, that's a good class that I don't do anymore.
But we do that. In fact,
I'm talking about schools.
in fact, we've had council members attend our culinary arts program. I mean, our dinner.
Good job.
We do that. We just don't do it in that kitchen because it's not set up properly for it.
who would this be located? At the Boys and Girls Club?
It's the Duck Pond Building.
Okay.
That's what everyone calls it, the
Right.
brick building.
I know.
And it's that,
I used to work there.
yeah, and we, the problem with the kitchen that we currently have is, it's a residential size, so we're trying to move up to a commercial size. So, we just need the additional space to do the proper hooding, and the electrical. We just don't have the space to go up to commercial size.
Second. A second gives much.
Before we vote, Emily,
Yes.
I am all for doing everything I can for the babies. But until they can show me some more, my vote right now gonna be a no.
Understood, and respectfully, I just wanted it to be clear what's actually happening, when it was said it's being given back to us, it's not. And I mean, like, it's being reinvested back into the city property.
I understand,
Yeah.
but it's something that is just not the city well.
The information is there, we just didn't get it. We got.
You got a lease here
Yeah.
and one saying 85, one saying 6,000. Then you saying you got a bank account with so much money in it, don't nobody know where the money is. No,
We need a new lease.
all of this needs to be redone.
Mhm.
It needs to be a round table with John, Emily, and whomever, Carly, and all of this needs to be redone.
That's one of
We've
what
all
we
had
wanted
that
to bring up today, because we liked the idea of them having their own bank account on the book. That way we
Yes,
have an idea
yes.
of how much they've paid in and how much has gone out
it
of
separate.
that money.
Mhm.
But then Mr. Bryan, I wasn't sure if that was what he was meaning or no.
But none of us were here.
Mhm.
And that's part,
Emily
yeah.
is relying on someone else.
and I'm relying on past records that I can't hardly make sense of.
That's why we're gonna hold separate bank account where it's
And
clear.
so we were trying to come to a decent agreement on a number and just settle on that and then move forward with a clean slate.
But you don't
What I'm
need a
hearing her
separate
say is
bank account.
that there is no
That's just
agreement.
what my
it needs to
idea
be
was.
returned.
I would think. so,
But-
Mr.
Not if you
President.
got not if you
No, I
got.
know, but you're saying there is no agreement for money. to go.
Well, the line item account, that's what I.
It was always
you did
that
that.
they would take
I didn't
rent
have
and
that.
then they would bring it in back into the.
Fixed.
It
Councilmember
does.
Brown, do you mind repeating what your motion was? There's been a lot of discussion beyond that. I just want to make sure I get it correct.
What about Mr.
Who? John to rebid and bring the bids back. And we'll go from there.
It was more than just equipment, it's a whole new, it's walls, electrical,
Yeah.
everything, it's a whole expansion.
And I agree that totally, in fact, John and I spoke before the meeting, we want it to be rebid, the amount of money
Yeah.
for that small
See-
amount of work is too much.
That is, it is.
We
much
were,
For that one bill.
I agree with that.
we were under the impression it was all equipment.
See,
That's the first I heard of something.
it said kitchen equipment. It didn't say anything about wiring and.
It's in a kitchen expansion with equipment in it, like a whole completed
Yeah.
expansion.
I be wondering, no.
Okay.
What detail?
Are we ready for a vote? We ready for a vote?
Yeah.
Seconded.
All right. Councilmember Bryan?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfall, or Hampton, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfall,
No.
No, we just
Vice
rebid.
Mayor Landry,
No, I feel like all this. is-
Mayor Kettering, are you voting?
I
No.
think at this point I should abstain.
So, okay. Thank you.
You had to go to bid and stuff.
Should have straightened this out before you did it in Monday.
You wanna continue, you want me to take it back?
Mhm.
You wanna continue, you want me to take it? For the meeting,
I'm ready.
okay.
I do have one question. It's related to the parks. Does that mean that the Lutridge makes some money with the music?
It goes into the park
But I
account.
mean, it's
Need some papers to check us.
Shirley, I replaced all the tables and chairs last week.
You did? I didn't know.
Yeah,
The entire,
Rick.
Yeah, 6 foot,
how many?
12, I believe, I think 12. 50 chairs possibly.
Praise the Lord. Thank you.
Agenda item 6C, council to discuss the sale of parcel number 03175-000. And council will take any action deemed necessary.
Martine in here, I thought he would be here, but he wants to buy this. Also right here next to Casa Grande. Actually, I think part of Casa Grande is built on that porch area.
That came up before, I
It
believe.
did. Mhm.
He
Yeah.
sent the letters to all the adjoining property owners. I was got to figure out how much y'all want to sell it for, how y'all want to handle it.
Hasn't been appraised yet?
Well, didn't we agree we're gonna go by the property appraisers
What we did on the one for,
value?
Didn't we talk appraise that before?
That came, the older owner, the one before,
Mm-hmm.
you want to buy as well.
Exactly. We appraised it one time before.
What's the land value? Is that $1,000?
yeah, on here. Show the acreage,
1.06.
yeah, 1.06 acres, probably worth more than 1,000, but. 1.06 acres, the property appraiser just has it valued at $1,000. There's worth a little more than that with Highway 19 frontage and everything.
$1,000. And we put 5,000 on that property out on 19.
Is that what the appraiser said it was, that property on 19, the strip?
I'd have to pull it back up and look, I think so.
Yeah, that's,
Anyway.
that's a big difference, and that's a larger piece of property.
Well, it's,
I think last time we decided we didn't want to sell it.
I don't know what it's got.
My policy.
This is the people that are gonna put a new restaurant in out there, is that who wants it?
It's next to Casa Grande, he already has the restaurant.
He's
Parking,
expanding.
increase for parking.
Uh-huh.
what are we,
Oh, you're talking about out on 19, not the one here.
city using it for anything?
Oh, okay.
Any utilities, anything on it at all? Anything cutting across it or?
Before, Main Street was involved with that.
Or something
That
about
was
it.
the reason. yeah, Main
Trail
Street,
down the creek or something, they were
Yeah.
thinking about it one time.
That was years ago.
Many
Like the
years
green,
ago.
green spaces, walking trail.
Yeah,
Like
many years ago.
25 years ago or
I
so,
think
wasn't
that's
it?
part of the old rail bed.
No, I haven't been here that long.
Sheffield and Sheffield.
Yeah,
I haven't been here that
none of us have.
long.
Well, Bill was there. City manager back then.
Yeah.
But the last time it came before council, Main Street was involved with it. But,
I don't know what you did, I guess you don't.
hmm,
I heard something about one time having a trail down this creek.
mhm.
Anyway, what would be the pleasure of the council? Entertain selling it, entertain keeping it, or entertain getting it appraised?
Are you looking for it, John? Show it to us again, or is that it?
Put it right there.
How does it compare to the one that we quoted the 5,000 on,
A lot
as
more
far
land.
as far as area?
That was 1.06, that other one's just a little sliver. I don't know where the property appraiser comes up with their numbers.
It's almost like a right of way or an alleyway or something, sort of looks like to me.
The other one does too, but it's much more, it's narrower.
This
That
is
was,
next
yeah,
to the
that's what I
creek.
mean, that's like a little alleyway or something, the other than's actually,
This is next to the creek.
0.18 acres.
well, that's some kind of straight piece of property for whatever reason. See you later. See ya. Anyway, what's pleasure of the council?
Why don't we check with her? She's still over Main Street now? Yeah.
Don't have a Main Street.
The came before the council.
Yeah, she was gonna start it back, but I don't know if she ever did. Or I know there is no Main Street.
Did her update, how many you heard some talk about it coming back, but I don't think it has, or if it has, I hadn't heard. Of course, I don't hear everything.
The Main Street people didn't like her being the director. They were the independent director of Main Street. They want Don put on another hat.
Anyway, you guys wanna
We can
circle
wait,
back around to this later?
we can wait till Martine comes and ask again.
I know why there's such a big discrepancy between the two prices,
And just,
because I thought we went with our property appraisers price and that other one.
I think we did. So,
It was, I was just reading the other day, it's 5,000.
okay, agenda item 6D. Council to discuss resolution 2025-01 in reference promotes stability in the city of Perry. And council to take any actions deemed necessary. This is,
Trying to come up with a way to have more peaceful council meetings.
You trying to say we Flint County?
No, flash on this.
Should have seen some of you minutes ago. Everybody was wondering mine.
Billy Blake, Abraham Lincoln.
We will be respectful of one another, even when we disagree. We will direct all comments to the issues. We avoid personal attacks. Likeness also of Abraham Lincoln.
This has been done sometime in the past. Good, yeah,
Kind of refreshing it.
motion.
Second.
I didn't put it on the consent agenda, so I think it has to be read out loud. Doesn't it? How's that work?
That's not an ordinance.
good
It's a
resolution.
document that you're adopting in as a policy.
Resolution.
We can add or take away or change any of it. I stole this one from some other city.
I read it, everything looks good to me. I understand sooner or later, somebody's gonna break this on purpose to get thrown out of the meeting. Well, that's exactly what they wanted, that's exactly what they want to happen.
Council ready to vote?
Who's second?
Ms. Woodfall.
In this button?
Okay. Councilmember Bryant. Councilmember Hampton.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfall.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry.
Yes.
Mayor Catherine.
Yes. Agenda item 6E. Hawk Bell to address the city council regarding 310 South Henley Avenue, Perry, Florida, and council take any action deemed necessary. I guess we're gonna circle back around to this. Okay.
Planning and zoning, they voted to not have any action on it for 90 days. And for us to get back with the planning council, kind of what our options are around that. There's a way to rezone that. There's about 10 acres they kind of want to be rezoned mobile home if possible.
Did we ever get it improved?
For,
That it was already there.
she said to me that they moved it in there 3 or 4 years ago. So we know it hasn't been there the whole time.
Yeah,
I think it's
the
a
last
good
time the
idea.
appraiser was out there in 2019, there was no trailer out there.
But
There had been a trailer out there long before, but not when what they were sharing was not in fact true. There had not been a trailer on there uninterrupted for 27, 30 years, whatever the claim was.
Was the owner at the meeting this
The
time?
owner was at the meeting.
Okay, that's good.
The
We had-
owner was at the meeting.
all 7 members of the board were there.
And all the board was there.
I didn't know we had 7 on there.
No, I thought it was.
There were 7 and all of them were on there.
So have you contacted Scott?
We're waiting on a phone call back from them. It takes 2 weeks to get a phone call from them. Get it on the list.
Anyway, so we'll circle back around to that at a later date. Agenda item 6F, city manager to present completed citywide road rankings and council take any action deemed necessary. This was the DOT,
Yeah, the Michelin, they came and did that presentation for us.
yeah.
It's not doing everything I wanted to do. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I emailed them trying to get some information why it's not doing what I want to do. But we're actually in fairly good shape. There's only like 4 small short roads that are, 5, the most critical rating.
And we'll do those when we get the tax money.
And
I mean, that's the plan.
I just, worst ones first. Go down the list.
All right. We'll circle back around to that at a later date. Agenda item 6H. Present CDBG engineering rankings and council to take any action deemed necessary.
Skip G.
6G.
Did I skip one?
Mhm.
Apologize, I did. I checked it off and shouldn't have. Agenda item 6G. Council to discuss potential appropriation requests for lobbyist. Send out 5-year CIP to council and council to take any action deemed necessary.
Me and Mr. Anderson narrowed it down pretty good. What he knows is going on and what he thinks are good projects that could get approved. Our working list right now.
Are any of those streets ones that you mentioned a while ago?
Bishop is a 4, I think. Those 3 were the way we applied. We applied for 4 streets for the DOT MSCOP grant. So they're already engineered out, already have cost estimates and all that. That's what the state likes to see. You already have most of the work done on the back, on the front end. Parker Street was
Pretty much shovel ready, you mean?
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
shovel ready projects. Park Street was approved by DOT. Just found that out this week. So that's why they put it on this list. We got
Given
the,
lift station, that thing's been in trouble for a while, hasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, that goes back quite a ways.
we got the RIF grant for Warner. This is the other one that's on the phase 1 of the wastewater plan study. It'd be a good asset. We're already in the process of doing the engineering. It was identified on our planning study. And we'll have some skin in the game because the city and SRF is paying for the engineering and design part of it. So that'll be just construction. The appropriations like to see that you have some skin in the game. We'll probably throw 50 grand each of these streets too for city matching.
What's the
So
star
this-
mean?
A star means it's not really shovel ready, but I think it's a good ask. These,
Why would this council voted to do something under certain conditions? Why is it number 7? Other than John don't want to do it.
these aren't in any particular order except the garbage trucks. I do want that to be top.
But,
This isn't in any particular order, just a list.
well, it ought to be at the top. What I'm saying is, we're not gonna get a new fire station as a whole. I talked to Mark about this and all. But if we could just get enough to start preparing the plans and specs and whatever that amount might be, I don't know.
Where you gonna put it?
That's my problem.
That's your problem, okay. You'll come up with something, I'm sure.
I would.
Is this what we're paying the lobbyist for?
This is what we're paying them to advocate for us about.
What did we do about the money that they offered us on the depot roof? If we went ahead and replaced the shingles, is that money gone? We didn't do the work, or what's the deal with that?
Still sitting there.
Our FEMA consultant advised me to sign, and then we can always withdraw, but if I didn't sign, we completely wouldn't have gotten the money, so,
How long do we have?
I can't remember what she said right now off the top of my head. I knew we needed to make a decision, but they were getting with engineers.
Did, we ever get anything from an engineer about the roof or we're going to?
I really don't want to spend 20 grand, so if I find a better way. But we can.
Is this the list that Jamie was speaking of? On WTXL?
He didn't know the list existed, but yeah.
Oh, just figured we've hired a lot of these for something different.
What?
No, no. Well, talk about it. Shelter. Yeah. Listen. We have a homeless situation. People are freezing, we don't have anywhere for them to go. And you put them in jail if they're walking on the streets. I think that's a good project. Then you can make money off of it by renting the building. That's my thinking. Whatever she says.
Are these cost estimates? Okay.
The Goodman's lift station, that was the engineer's estimate. The water and gas meters, that was a quote we got back from whoever. Who was it? Itron. The streets are what the engineers estimated, the garbage trucks are what the garbage trucks cost. The fire station is just a guess. The depot roof is a guess. Michael Land told me at least $500,000 if he even thought about touching it.
Was that lifting the old trusses and everything else, stripping it down and putting a whole new, not just roof, though, I mean,
All new trusses. roof
I guess it
system,
is the roof, but I mean, the roof structure, all of it.
All some HVAC work, electrical work, insulation.
Yeah,
I thought we could do it with that gun over there,
If you replace the trusses,
you know, with that replacement.
plus when you start taking the thing apart, you might find the 100-year-old building's got something going on we didn't know about. Not saying it does, it could. I've done it in some old buildings before and been surprised a time or two.
Double the depot.
Yes, ma'am. I'm saying, I hope it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, you just bear that in the back of your mind that it could.
it probably will.
How much should we give it to him and see what he can do with it?
Have a second?
We got the legislative delegation on the 30th, 4:30. Y'all want to be there?
I'd like for all of us to be there if at all possible.
Where at?
The complex.
The county commission meeting room, I think, isn't it? It's where they normally have it.
30th, I think it's a Thursday. Yeah. 4:30.
Do remind us, please.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Motion's hanging. If we don't get the information to him early enough, he can't work on it and help us any.
Yeah, things are lining up right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting together with him this Thursday to start putting the forms together.
Things have been lining up since November and that's in the home stretch right now as far as getting everything together.
So he feels good about
Like Bill said, you probably get 10 million for a fire station, but you might get phase one. For some design
I
and
think
planning.
you gotta face it.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know how many of you saw the picture in the paper,
Hmm.
1925 fire station. That's me right there with a tie on.
No, no, right.
But what I'm telling you is these are all volunteers. They probably had two chief and another person in 500 square feet, maybe. I don't know. Just say 500. Today, they've got 16, 17 people in 500 square feet.
They're not all there at one time. They're on shifts.
You do have two firefighters sleeping in the same room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they had their own.
Your own privacy.
I don't have a problem with it.
Who did second my motion?
Not with the fire station.
Oh.
So the people said,
Do I have a second? Anyone?
Second for what?
Second
Give that
motion.
list to him and let him go with it, see
I
what he can do.
don't have a problem with the list. We
Second.
gotta have a list
All
to
right, we
start
got,
with.
What?
We gotta have a list to start with.
That's the list.
I know, I said I don't have a problem with it.
Well, then second the motion.
Second.
I said it.
Certainly do.
say, Miss Shirley second.
Yeah.
One, two, all right,
Yes,
go ahead on.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes,
Councilmember Woodcock,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry.
Yes.
Mayor Kettering.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right, getting back to what I said earlier. Agenda item 6H. Present CDBG. Present CDBG engineering rankings and council to take any action deemed necessary.
Two firms, North Florida Professional and Mark McDonald. Me, Carly and Danielle. We had Mark McDonald a little bit higher than North Florida.
what did you find out anything about a conflict if Mark McDonald?
I think as long as you did the RFQ, you're fine. You couldn't use a continuing service and award the work.
This is just your second RFQ and gonna negotiate
I'll have,
like we do the rest of the professional.
since we have a grant admin, he'll be handling most of that for us.
We need to take any action on this.
Yeah, y'all do have to prove it needs to be in the minutes for the CDBG grant.
We have a motion.
motion,
Second for discussion.
go ahead,
Um,
go ahead.
Councilmember Brown.
I got
Oh,
this.
sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
This was discussed when, there were 4 people on that committee. And on that committee at that time, I left there with the impression that they had more interest in North Florida professionals than Mark McDonald. And I was shocked.
Because you think.
To see one person change his mind, of course. Carly and Danielle are not gonna butt John. And for whatever reason, John wanted Mark McDonald, because he at that time said, I want I'd like to have a different engineering firm to work with. That's fine.
So you think that, North Florida would be a better,
That's all they do. Mark McDonald's gotta hire other people to help them do this job.
So North Florida Professional has their own team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were they here the other night?
That was, Asmus.
And,
Gotcha.
and you talk about profession. Just in the paperwork. Versus. Roll call.
Councilmember Bruns,
No.
Councilmember Hampton,
Since Bill explained it that way, hold on, no,
did you say that was a no?
yeah.
Okay. Councilmember Woodball,
No.
Vice Mayor Landry. Your vote.
Or you vote no?
Bob McDonald versus Everett.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
No.
We got to do something.
So are we going to?
Motion to,
North Florida.
North Florida Professional Services, Inc.
Second,
Okay. Councilmember Bruns,
Yes.
Oh, just a second, let me think about this.
Goodbye.
Let me think about this.
What did I miss?
Just discussion between the two
Same
engineering
thing.
firms.
Make a motion for us to reevaluate. And come back with a new ranking with a different team.
Oh,
It doesn't matter to me if we got time.
Do we have time?
Yeah,
we doing this the legal way?
yeah, but if we
Yeah.
approve going with. Not the highest ranked firm, I think CDBG's have some issues with it. I'd rather you direct us to re-rank with a new ranking team. I don't think there's anything wrong with us.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, I just wanna make sure it's
Your selection.
legal.
so Bill's gonna be a part of it.
Okay.
So Bill will be a part of the team.
Motion to reevaluate.
motion to reevaluate. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're seconding?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now you vote. Councilmember Bruns,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Agenda item 6I, council to discuss Charles Guyer retirement. He would like to stay on the reserve and keep his department issued service weapon, and council will take any action deemed necessary.
He has been with the city for 17 years. He vested at 10. He has reached age 55. He's eligible for normal retirement under the plan. Historically, in the past, anyone that has retired and started on pension payments or requested their service weapon, the council will allow them to do it. Usually the reserve component never comes up for discussion. They decide to stay anyway. It's just a simple date change. And it would help us for certain special events and then be able to come back.
Is that a paid or not paid?
That's volunteer.
Volunteer? Okay. Because I was wondering what, the retirement, time and all that.
Yeah.
That's
He would
just to
be,
help with their service. Huh?
he would be able to come back and work paid details that other companies pay, like Walmart security and things like that.
Motion.
Second,
Need to change the date. He already retired
He's already retired.
in May of 24.
Oh, that was a typo. So it should have been.
Okay,
What's the date say?
May 31st, 2024.
No, he retires. He retired actually January 1st,
This year.
2025.
Well,
He
it says
started in,
It says he will be
20.
retiring.
yeah, it's a mistake. We can change that memo. It's not binding. We may make a note to it.
Councilmember Bruns,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yeah. Agenda item 6J. Budget amendment discussion to increase wastewater salary for operator that passed Class C license test.
We talked about this several months ago. of what we do to incentivize somebody getting their, license. He's passed the test, we sent all the paperwork in, just gotta wait for it all to get approved. Ran some numbers on the $1.50 and a $2 increase, and what the total will be to the budget.
Just to clarify, John, if I may. Class C is the beginning. Class B is the medium license and Class A is the highest license.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes they work the other way. That's why I was clarifying. Okay, thank you.
We need a B to run the wastewater.
So he's getting a C now.
What's your recommendation?
$2.
Motion.
Once it's everything approved, once I see a license,
Second,
Okay.
Right, okay, the highest. Okay, so what was that,
we
what's
don't
the
need,
highest?
we don't need an A,
You just need
that's
B.
the highest it is.
Need a B, what's the rate of the B?
Well, it depends on where you're at. City of Tallahassee is about 36 an
In
hour.
Perry,
So,
There isn't one in Perry at the moment.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like. When he passes his B. You know, we would have to do this again,
Mm-hmm.
and I know we would not be able to compete with these other counties. We're gonna try to do the best we can to retain these people.
Yeah.
But in the surrounding areas, it's in the mid to high 30s an hour. Now, the last B operator. Or would have been Steve Caruso, and Steve made 34, 35 miles an hour with the city.
thank you.
Now, the between C, D and A, is it just a size difference as to how big a place you can operate?
Yes, sir. We're just over the threshold by 250,000 gallons. Just under 1 million requires a C, over 1 million requires a B, and that goes all the way up to like 10 million gallons.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes,
Councilmember Woodball. Vice Mayor Landry,
yes.
Mayor Kettering.
Yes.
I know we're gonna get to the vote, because we're gonna have to bring back a budget amendment that y'all will have to vote on.
I'll vote again then.
I just hope we able to pay all these salaries.
Do something to keep them. busy.
Mhm.
Agenda item 6K. Budget amendment for garbage truck purchase.
This is just what y'all approved last time for me to do to purchase the garbage truck, but it's just for the records
Right.
on
Need
where
a
I
motion?
moved the money from.
Have a motion,
Motion,
second,
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Kettering.
yes. Agenda item 6L, council to discuss raising capital outlay threshold from $500 to $5,000 to align with auditors and council to take any action deemed necessary. We have capital items that are $500.
Yes, so according to our purchasing manual right now, anything over $500, we have to do as a capital asset. The Government Finance Officer Association recommends the minimum capitalization threshold of 5,000. And that's also what the auditors, all the auditors look for, is anything over 5,000.
Mm.
And it is also what the county's threshold is. 'Cause I mean, like, if there was, like, for instance, one of the police department's guns, that's under $5,000, we're still going to track that, because that's needs to be tracked. Same with radios. We'll use common sense
Have we got a
though,
written policy
in the purchasing about,
for this?
not for this was just to,
I think we ought to get a written policy specifically for radios and guns, and then, couch
sensitive items, basically.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Anything with a serial number, maybe?
But
Anything with a serial number?
Cell phones.
One way.
I mean, I'm just,
Yeah.
Generally
We thought
speaking.
about that, but
yeah,
yeah. Well, I don't know. Need to look at that.
right.
I can look and see how other places work it.
That could be a starting point anyway.
Yeah.
I was just kind of putting feelers out.
Yeah,
Does 5,000 sound reasonable
Pretty much what
Maybe
everybody
that's
else.
to me,
Yeah.
and that's what they recommended.
with the asterisk that sensitive items?
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe purchasing go a little easier as well.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Councilmember Brian,
yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfolk,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Ketchering.
Yes. Agenda item 6M, council to continue discussion on code enforcement grace periods. And council will take any action deemed necessary.
I hate to put this kind of a burden on people that can't pay, they can't do it. When the city is not. And I understand, I know that just because I get caught speeding and he's speeding, that's not an excuse. But, there's a lot of people out there that can't clean this property. I don't know what they're gonna eventually do. And some of it they live in. There's some, houses over where we are still got blue tarps on them. So.
Can be a very difficult subject, like you said, especially when you have people living in them. Where do they go?
True.
Chief, do you have any comments?
We're looking for guidance is what we're looking for. And I agree with Councilmember Brian. The difficult situation to be in. If it's truly a health hazard or a safety hazard, that lead them in the house anyway, and that's something we should do regardless of time limits. And I think that's, for now, that's what we're going to address. Is if it's a true safety concern or a health concern for that property, we have to do what's right to make sure people are safe. And really, that's my concern right now, making sure everybody's safe.
Yeah, and you've got some that have been noticed a long time ago and they still haven't done anything about it. So I don't know where the storm comes in to play with that.
Yes, ma'am. Anything that's pre-existing, the storms, we're still following that process, and we've been bringing things before the BOA to get those issues taken care of when they need to be. Looking at commercial properties, the ones with the signs that are blown out is another thing that we need to consider. Maybe separately from its timeline for residential stuff, maybe consider commercial residential differently. Because we're talking about the appeal of the city now as you're driving through for potential investors as well. So I think that just residential things, we use our best common sense and do our best to work with whoever's there. And commercial, we'll just start. And if there's a timeline or end date that the council has in mind, we'd follow that. But I think we do need to improve the commercial properties and businesses, encourage them to make those changes as well.
Oh, great.
And this is a difficult situation that we're all in. We're all in this one together really because you have a unique view on your districts or areas of the city. We just want people to be safe and to make sure they're not living in conditions that are unhealthy. I know we talked about when it was just Idalia damage we're just talking, looking at January 1st of 2025,
Yeah.
but, yeah, then we had Helene visit, and, you know, Debbie wasn't much of a burden on us, but Helene hit us again. So, you know, if we were to extend it through July 1st, and then reevaluate it then, and see where we're at that point, would encourage people through our normal process to start trying their best to make improvements. Maybe encouragement and help and assistance letters to people saying, we're gonna start enforcing this, do your best. We'll check back with you later without a whole lot of enforcement action, unless it's a truly is a health and safety concern for a property.
We got a mess out there
Yes, sir.
that and I'm just talking about on the right of way. We don't have the capabilities, if we don't get help from the public,
Yes, sir.
it's gonna continue to look like a mess. And I'm talking about, once it's picked up, if they would at least rake it up into a manageable pile. But if they don't, we don't have manpower to.
Maybe that's something we can include in our process, is make contact with a property owner, say, can you help us out, and kind of,
Try.
yeah, we can try.
But we still have people unloading construction debris on the side of the roads.
Yes.
So we speaking on the right of way. That FEMA left a mess. We're wondering.
The debris contractors.
Some places they did,
Okay.
yes.
My guys are going around and cleaning that stuff up, but it's gonna be a slow process. It's
Oh,
not gonna
yeah.
be a
It'll
quick,
be.
Are they raking after they pick up the bulk of it?
ma'am.
Is somebody raking after they pick up the bulk of it?
My guys are.
They do.
Okay, cause I know they used to and then they quit.
Yeah, but they're talking about the FEMA trucks.
Yeah.
They're leaving messes like little limbs
Yeah.
and just
I know
leaving.
it's all,
My guys are going behind and cleaning the right of ways because come March, April, we're gonna have to start mowing.
Mhm.
You can tell the difference between the contractors that are working for the government and then the city employees. City employees do a way better job in
Yeah.
making sure that's cleaned up.
yeah, I had to pay somebody to clean mine up after they picked it up, clean the right of way. It was a mess.
So you just wanna.
Say
take
July
Jason-
1 and we can reevaluate then. We'll just start, you know, we've kept track of stuff that was existent from Idalia and new damage, so we know who has had longer than others, because we still get calls every day about these issues, you know. And we still need to take care of the citizens that are complaining about issues that need to be addressed too.
Mhm.
Everybody has an interest in us doing our best job we can.
This is just a suggestion, but, what if, they were put an article in the newspaper? And as our constituents, the citizens, that we're soliciting their help and helping us to clean up around their home.
And, you know, and I think through this discussion, that's something that will probably already be mentioned in the newspaper because it's part of this discussion.
Well, we can do it again.
Well, it should just be part of owning the property. I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
we
Yeah.
expect people to keep it up.
Yeah, I'm speaking of the right of ways. They could use help.
Motion to
And-
extend the grace period to July 1.
Second.
I was in the middle of a
I'm sorry.
sentence,
I apologize.
but it's okay, you do it a lot. Go ahead.
Councilmember Bruns,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes,
Councilmember Woodfall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Kettering.
And to
Yes.
clarify, that
Yeah, we
was
did.
to reevaluate after July 1st, not
Doing it.
start strict enforcement.
Yeah, readdress it before July 1, maybe the meeting before the last meeting in June, and
Yes, sir.
Readdress,
Reevaluate.
motion to readdress.
Yes.
we'd be surprised at the help we would receive if we would only ask.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
Mhm.
agenda item 6N. Introduction and first reading of ordinance 1047. An ordinance of the city of Perry, Florida, relating to the rezoning of 10 or more contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z 74-04 by the city council, amending the official zoning atlas of the city of Perry land development regulations, providing for rezoning from residential, conventional, single family 1 or RSF 1 to residential, conventional, single family RSF 2 of certain lands within the corporate limits of the city of Perry, Florida, providing a severability, repealing ordinances in conflict, providing an effective date.
That's the one that's in the high school, the RSF two. So we'll be in line with our comp plan and LDR.
Any discussion on this from the public or council or anybody else?
This first reading.
First. Okay. Agenda item 6O. Resolution 2025-03 Veterans Day. A policy resolution of the city of Perry, Florida in reference to Veterans Day and providing for an effective date. Yep, we're making Veterans Day, go ahead, I'm sorry, man.
I agree that we should observe Veterans Day. But I think we already have 13 paid holidays.
Are two of those the floating holidays? Or
Personal, yeah,
personal days or?
yeah. We added it's Friday and Juneteenth, but a couple of years ago.
Does
I-
does it cause any conflict with the banking? The banks are closed on.
A lot of places. are
Yeah, they're
closed.
closed. We end up.
City of Perry,
Positive the bank is closed. but
Banks are closed.
Yeah.
I think City of Perry is one of the very few places open.
Most places.
It's extremely quiet on Veterans Day.
I was really surprised to see that we were open.
I understand both sides. I understand too many holidays. Also understand Veterans Day. They need to be recognized. Would, especially when, I mean, are the schools out on Veterans Day now or no? I don't.
Yep.
They are.
They go back.
We're the only.
Okay,
Sometimes they're, it depends on the school calendar, they go back and forth.
gotcha.
Yeah, okay.
Plus the two floating.
13, Ms. Hampton said.
But
Who that the state is not recognizing. I guess Juneteenth and First Friday.
What is first Friday? What is that?
Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Oh, Good Friday, okay.
We don't have to rush on this.
No, we got till November. I do realize that. I just. What would the people who are taking the holidays? Will they be willing to give up one of the swing holidays for a Veterans Day or no?
I see no's.
Nope.
Well, it's not gonna matter for the police. And we're gonna work anyway.
Yeah.
This way it falls.
I'm swapping
Ma'am.
out today, removing one of the personal holidays and having Veterans.
That's what I was asking.
Caitlin,
Yeah, we don't have to, we don't have to do anything with this right away.
Got seven
Alright.
now? Is that all, seven? That's it?
It'd be 11 plus,
Huh?
11 holidays plus the 2 floating.
Yeah, some of those are double, like Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but they've got him listed twice.
Yes,
That's
that's
11
true.
So,
on each side.
11 and then. Yeah, 13
Memorial
total.
Day.
just a thought, if you were to remove one of the floating holidays, it's not gonna benefit the people who work shift work. You're gonna, actually, they're gonna be not held equal to everybody else, because they will have to work that day regardless,
The floating holidays they can use whenever they
whenever
want.
they want.
You take it, and
That's one personal day less that they have to take.
I mean, my opinion is, you have a floating holiday, if you want to take off Veterans Day, just take it off.
But at the same time, if everybody takes the day off, you're shutting the city down anyway.
Well, it means
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday it's shut down, and,
Sure.
you know, like, it's shut down Christmas and Christmas Eve, so I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But, you know, just so it's not complicated. In my opinion, you know, that's what the floating holidays are for. Like Garrett said, what birthdays and anniversaries too. So,
All right.
Well, just let the city workers have a vote in it and say what they want.
suggested that.
If they want to trade out, they won't take one of them holidays and take him away and give the Veterans Day.
Let's do that, John. Put it on the employees, see what they want.
I suggested that to John.
Is there a reason you wouldn't just add that holiday, just give another holiday?
We got 11 already. That's a lot.
Certainly could.
I thought we was cabling this.
All right. We'll circle back around to this again. If That's okay with everybody.
Yeah,
All right.
hold your workers and see what they want.
Agenda item 6.
John, was that MOU included?
We'll bring it up at the.
Okay.
Agenda item 6D, approval of minutes from the December 10th, 2024 regular session. Any changes or corrections that you made to it?
Yeah, I think I'm on page 5. Price of a new truck is 400,000. Demo 375. Purchase the demo and take it out of water. Not all coming out of water.
Was it
7I.
Was it some of it ARPA?
So the part of.
Some of it was ARPA, right? Some of it was out coming out of the waterfront.
Part of what? Balance.
Right.
$90,000,
$90,000, I believe it was.
yeah.
Give or take.
It's on the budget resolution.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, she has on record. She wasn't here at the last meeting, so she was trying to listen to us.
So where do you say take it from, Bill?
The resolution says take it out of that ARP money and the balance our water, which is about 80,000 out of water.
90.
Okay. Any other corrections? No, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfolk,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Kitchen.
Yes. City manager report. Anything?
Jamie had this MOU that need to be approved.
Leave the county yet. It's a mutual aid agreement with them for an investigation. And it's time sensitive.
Motion. to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call,
Was
please,
that you,
ma'am.
Miss Hampton?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodcock,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Anything else, John? Hope, do you have anything?
I do. There's a few things. I have a new phone number. I don't know who's over the information on the website. But it's 850-756-5726. That's 850-756-5726. And I just think it's important for me to address a few things that have come up, it seems like, for the last 3 meetings. I want, and I guess it may be obvious from my comments, that my goal is to be accurate in the information I've given you. So I would ask that any of the council members who take me up on the request that you have up to so many hours per month to inquire with me about something going on with the city. If there is something that you believe can lead to criminal persecution, fraud, even a violation of sunshine law can result in fines and removal of officials, I will never want to be on record stating and agreeing to be subpoenaed that I have agreed that the city council has acted under fraud, that I have agreed that a city official acted in violation of sunshine law. So if there are things that you know from looking at the agenda a few days or a weekend and a day ahead of time that gives you some concern, or just something you know that's coming up in the future, it would behoove you or be a greater benefit for the city council as a body politic to let me know so that I can with certainty agree with what the concern is or show counterbalance, because as you know, lawyers make their money by looking at all sides, and almost in every argument, there's exceptions. So particularly when I'm asked in a public meeting about whether or not the city council has committed fraud, you will never probably hear me agree to that unless that's something that's been discussed over and over and over again. I would take the use of the animals being close to the school or not. That information, if you remember, I brought you information, Attorney General opinions. Everything doesn't have to be that way, but I would just suggest, unless the goal is just a got you and an insult, and it's for the overall good of the body politic, if you would share with me if you have serious concerns that something that is being done is improper, illegal, or in violation. Therefore, I can not just address your concern, but maybe let's come up with a resolution, because that is not a violation of sunshine law, and it, I believe, helps resolve it. For instance, today, there was concern of fraud when I understood from the agenda that there was going to be discussion about bids. So we went into a wholly different situation. And then I was asked whether or not something that's been going on at least for 10 years, done through other legal counsel for this particular council, whether or not was fraud. I still don't know the complete answer to it because we got into a lot of extraneous things. That was not what I understood the agenda was about. But I would tell you that I never take your concerns lightly, just because I don't feed you the answer you want in the instance that you want. Unlike what happens on television or just the speed of Google or ChatGPT, most lawyers and even judges, if there's something that they've not heard before, they will actually tell you, we'll put that under advisement. So I'm never at any time ignoring the request or the sincerity or the passion by which you may share, but I also have to think of the council body tick. I'm not one individual council member's attorney. And even if there's something that you passionately feel, if I don't agree or don't know, I'm not going to say that I do just to possibly avoid an insult. As to my education or my experience, I can tell you right now, I'd rather be slow than wrong, because then that comes into another thing. And I'm not going to put my license on the line by giving wrong information that can cause or lead to something like the lawsuit where I'll be coming in to testify that I stated in a meeting that something was illegal or criminal. Secondly, regarding some of the concerns that have come up, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, regarding something that was said, I think in the last meeting, that, and sometimes I don't even hear what people are saying because a lot of people talk low, they're not on a mic, or maybe there's a conversation that's been had before the meeting, so you know exactly what you all are talking about in the moment, and I didn't hear everything, but I just, and if the board or the council would like, I will start giving more legal tidbits in my part of it, just to maybe, if there's been a question about, say, like sunshine law or even civility, or what are those things that I'll try to be more mindful. What I understood the sunshine law to do, but I did not share at that moment because I didn't even hear the complete conversation. But the city manager legally can speak to individual council members. That in and of itself is not a violation of sunshine law. What a city manager or a non-elected official cannot do is act as a third-party liaison to basically talk to individual members, and by which share information to basically come up with sort of a pre-total of everybody's support. And I'm sharing, for instance, with Councilmember Hampton, she liked something she didn't. When I speak to Councilmember Landry, and I would be somewhat different, but the same would apply. My goal is not, well, Hampton, Councilmember Hampton disagreed. What is your say? And just basically acting as a third-party liaison to get a decision made outside of a public meeting. That is not what you should do. And if there's a real grievance, one in which there needs investigation that can lead to fines and removal, and maybe it doesn't have to come in a certain formal way, but those things are very, very important. And if I state like I don't know, or based on anything else, I would need more information. I know out of abundance of caution, the gold standard is to share those things in a public meeting. But for instance, I know for the abundance of caution, many times if one of you council members have an event, other council members don't attend just because they do not want to be in any way even accused of violating the sunshine law. But there's actually nothing to say that you can't attend each other's events. So I hear one thing, and it may be that I want to hear more because I don't want to rush to judgment and then be placed on record in a public meeting that I've said that someone is in violation, because that also could have greater consequences. I know we sometimes throw words away, like, you know, because of the passion of the moment, but I just wanted to make myself clear as to at least how I think best I can serve the body politic. So again, not something that just came up in meeting, period, but if there's something that you see or you smell, in other words, that may need more legal exploration as to what the right way, I would just ask. You know, I'm not a scary person. Sydney, I think some of you council members have reached out with a question or an idea that something is on the agenda or not. I try to get back to you, and it doesn't mean that same issue won't rise up, but it will give me a chance to give you as much information as I can, so that it can help you in your very important work to represent and protect the people of this city. So I don't have anything else to share for tonight, but I just wanted to reiterate that, and I apologize if you have tried to reach out to me and maybe in the last few weeks or since the holidays you could not because my phone wasn't working or whatever. I just want to apologize for that, but I am here for that. And even when I basically say I don't know, or I'll start saying I'll take it to advisement, I will still follow up, especially if it's something that didn't just sort of come and go because of the heightened interest in that moment. But I want for us to work in a way that we could be proud of things years later that we did it in a correct way. But and some lawyers, I guess, do it differently, but I don't say I know when I don't. And that's what University of Florida taught me, especially being on the Honors Ethics Committee, that it's hard to erase bad information or wrong information. And that's it. So if you first see something that came on this agenda or something in the future, feel free, it doesn't have to be a dissertation, to ask that I look it up, that I consider, because that's what I'm here for. But that's all I have.
Thank you.
Can I respond?
Ma'am?
Can I respond?
Sure, yeah.
I want to apologize for all the insults that you had when doing. It's not right. And anytime that you see that we're crossing the line or whatever, please stop us. You're supposed to keep us in line, and I appreciate you. So the insults, we've got to quit doing it. It's just, you are qualified. We
Well, thank
appreciate you.
And my biggest point, I do appreciate that, just let me know what the problem is or what your concerns are, because I'm made of hard stuff. I come from a big, hard family, but just, I'd rather just, let's get it resolved than just, look at like, was this, because I don't want city council to be compromised in any kind of way, including my own statements and response, so, but thank you for that.
Well, this resolution we just passed, does that apply to us as well?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Council members, general
Okay.
public.
It's like spilling everywhere.
Very good.
And Lord, if you just want to sit here like a bump on a log, have at it, my friend.
If you wanna do what?
Huh?
If you wanna do what?
Sit up here like a bump on a log.
Charlie, you got anything?
The utility billing has got pushed back a little bit. They will not give me a date. Keep pushing for them to give me one, and they're having issue converting from the 1980 system that we had to, just some of the data integrity is what they're calling it. They're trying to still work through some stuff, but hopefully we'll have a date soon. But that's all.
Very good, Jamie.
I need a motion.
Sorry.
I need a motion. We got the, downtown strategies will be here tomorrow at 6 in the council room for the downtown revitalization. It's the stakeholder input session. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock.
Here.
Here,
Y'all want to be here, you can.
Won't be. My sister's in the hospital. Is that when you're supposed to be speaking?
Hey, Chief.
I don't have anything. We discussed Chuck, so that was.
RV.
I got a brush truck, my brush truck's down, gonna be down 5 to 7 days waiting on a part for a pump. Other than that, I'll put in for another AFG grant. I don't know if I told y'all since then, I don't know if I've seen y'all, but AFG grant for bunker gear and tools for the equipment, or tools for the trucks. And, or new tools, and also put in for a truck again. And I also just submitted another firehouse subs grant for the extrication stuff that we was turned down for last time. I submitted another one this time. Hopefully we'll get that something.
Very good.
I think that's it.
Danielle.
We have our new garbage truck and the guys are loving it.
I was just gonna.
Now we can just keep our other side loader. What we've had, the ones in Tallahassee, still haven't got it back. Well, we just got back from Tallahassee, but we're still having issues with it. So.
I need a mulligan to you. We have got the, with Red Cross, partner with Red Cross, some of y'all may have seen in the paper about the smoke detectors. If y'all know anybody needs smoke detectors in their house, Red Cross is donating them. We're donating our time to go put them up.
Do we have it on our Facebook website, John?
No,
We may need to put.
John may not even know about it.
So
I'm
we
sorry.
can, yeah, I read it in the paper also. I was gonna ask you about it. That way we can share it. Let everyone know about it.
Andrew.
Nothing at this time.
Sean.
Shut up, Mike.
First of all, I'd like to thank y'all for approving the raise for Jared. He's done really well in the lab. He's taken to it really well, beyond my wildest expectations. So thank you for that. We've got a lot of little projects going on. I'm kind of waiting for a grant that, you know, that launched, McDonald went through to upgrade the sewer system. We're getting a little sand, quite a bit of sand in our main lift station at the plant. You know, we're gonna investigate the creek, see if there's any missing manholes. But it's probably just the age of the pipe, something to get through, get quite a bit of sand in the lift station. The lift station probably can handle it, but it's prematurely wearing the pumps. So that will be an issue. We do have a grant to upgrade Warner. Hopefully we can get the one for Goodman's here. And then, like I said, with the grant with Mont, the main lift station needs to be addressed. We've been working with Mont with our local limits and pre-treatment, our biosolids. Mont has actually streamlined some of the testing that we do. They've taken 100 basically items that we test for, these little 15, 20 letter words. They've actually gotten us out of some testing that DEP was wanting us to do for our septic haulers. And just so you know, like each test we do for every metal or whatever criteria that the DEP wants to test for, that's like $20 a line. Some of our tests are $700, $1,500, so forth, so on. We got the last truck we ordered this week. So we're good on trucks now. Took us several months to get it, but we have it. So if you see it riding around town, it's a nice new crane truck, the city logo, 130 is the number. Appreciate that. John, y'all got any questions for me?
You mentioned the testing. Are you on a schedule now for that?
Well, we have weekly, monthly, and annual reports and quarterly reports that have to be done. Jared basically does the DMRs every month, and what that is, it stands for discharge monitoring reports. There were things that weren't on the DMR that we were basically unaware of, and there were some discrepancy in the nutrient management plan and the permit that was done in 2022. What Mont has done is help us with our pre-treatment program and our local limits. And like I said, that's where some of the items were eliminated from testing. Because if we're required to test it, let's say it's 0 every time we test it, well, that costs us, that's like $20 for that, just that item. So like I said, they cut out 100 of those. And also, like I said, DEP wanted us to start testing the septic haulers that come into the plant. I mean, depending on what they wanted testing for, I mean, it would have maybe been random, but that would have been passed on to the drivers. We just recently, not even a year ago, we went from 7 cents a gallon to 10 cents. So, you know, like anything we can get out of that's not going to make us liable or, you know, cost any more money, we will try to do it. And like I say, I've been working with Doug with Mont, and he has streamlined it, you know.
Good.
So, and the pre-treatment is very, very complicated. I don't know why it has to be so complicated. Basically reevaluate it. It'll be some months before it's finished, but hopefully all that'll go well. And that's pretty much.
Thank you.
Garrett,
I don't wish to have too much for y'all. I did replace some tables and chairs. we're trying to, I mean, most of the tables are gonna be thrown away and we'll probably keep some of the chairs for city functions. And whatnot, just we need them for something.
Thank
I don't
you
have-
so much.
Any questions?
Good with something?
So I get with John about some things.
Landry?
Yeah, how is the fire hydrant update coming?
The fire hydrant maintenance and
Yes, the
replacement.
maintenance, and both.
At the moment, we've just gotten our new man, as you know, at the beginning of the budget year. He's been training in the meter reading. And at this point, we just wanted to get through the holiday before we start breaking into major new work. Utility service group is going to be here at the end of the week, so I don't want to get into any projects right away because I don't want to get into anything while the water tower is being maintained. We will have to take the tower down and offline for a couple of days. We will be draining it. I didn't want to say anything about it because I didn't have an exact date. They keep pushing back every couple of days. At this point, they're looking to arrive by Friday. So I'm wanting to say the first hydrant on our agenda, I'm sure all of you know it, behind Hardee's by Star Bank. That will be the first one that we will be hitting next. We've been looking at ways to isolate that one in particular. But outside of that, we do not have any quotes from anyone yet, and I haven't made a scope of work yet for bidding that out. But I do plan on doing that, because I know we cannot do all of it. There's no way possible that we have the crew to be able to change every hydrant in the system, but the ones that are urgent, I would like to do now.
Mhm. Thank you. And what about the, weather stem? Did we ever get that installed?
I don't know where that project is. I think when John left emergency management, he was the one that was spearheading that. I don't know where it's at now. I've heard no further discussion.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I wish I could make a phone call and find out about that,
well, I'd like to see it.
or.
We
I can tell
gave
you who to
permission
call,
for it
tell
to be
somebody else
done.
who to
I'd like
call.
to see it done.
I think what it was is there was potentially some state monies to maintain that.
Mhm.
And that's what we were looking for through the emergency management side of the house. If we were to get involved, we may end up on the hook for paying for that, and I don't think that's something we should do.
All we did was give them permission to where to put it.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
if somebody make contact with emergency management now and just ask.
Like you say, he may not even
Anyone?
know about it with John,
don't
with
know.
jail outcome.
I do not know.
All right. Mr. Bruns?
Yes, sir. For some reason, there's a lot of people out there wanting to know about these fire hydrants. I think they're watching too much television in California. But, I mean, there is a concern. At the last meeting, well, go before the last meeting, this council voted not to do something. We come to the next meeting, we've got, it's on the agenda. It's the resolution or whatever. My name was already out there. And I asked John if he polled this council, and he said yes. And I told him that's against the law. I don't recall having any consent, discussion with anyone else, but that is against the law.
Yes,
But,
yes, it is.
I don't want to put my license in jeopardy either, and I have absolutely no intention of doing it, and I stand by my remarks.
Anything else?
Oh.